This 2-minute Java lesson is about building your own exception. You can make a custom exception by simply deriving it from an existing exception type. It's easier than people think. In the last video, we used an example where we threw an exception from a method of collecting blood pressure readings. In that example, we threw the exception for high blood pressure. But low blood pressure is also an issue. So you could create an exception for each. So in this example, we create one new custom exception, leaving the other. What is a custom exception? It's actually a new class. And like any other class, it can inherit from a base class, which means it derives most of its function from that basic exception class. The declaration will extend exception, which means that it inherits that base functionality. This is exactly what NetBeans create if I ask it to create a new Java file of the type JavaException. The two methods in the custom exception are two constructor methods because an exception is class. I could use this exactly as it stands, with changes to the program using it. What changes to the program? The three changes that I've made to the program are shown in red, bold text. And the reason why I bolded them is so you could find them easily. But you can see I just changed the words exception to high blood pressure exception, which is the name of my custom file. Of course, those changes are pretty trivial. They're just changes of the name of the exception. Could I have the exception to do something else? Yes, I can put code within the exception. Can I throw a method? Can I have a method throw more than one different type of exception? Yes. And are there any other tips? The main tip that you want to do is you want to keep the exception class in your project as a separate file. Don't try to keep it in the same file. Keep it as a separate exception file. And whenever possible, stick to the stock exceptions. You don't really need to go beyond those for most programs.